Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Alpa Sharma, and this is our last lab to CLAT. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to everyone watching me live. Very good afternoon, Akansha, Ashmita. Can you hear and see me very clearly, everybody? So yet another session. I saw you yesterday on a last lab to AILET series, and we had discussed some grammar questions. In today's session, we shall be discussing some miscellaneous verbal logic questions. So I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do in the class today. But before that, quickly confirm if I'm clearly visible and audible. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi everyone. Am I clearly audible and visible in the app on YouTube as well? If you could very quickly. Yes, Akansha. Okay, thank you. So now that I am clearly audible and visible, let's have a look at the agenda of this session. We are going to be discussing various verbal logic topics through various verbal logic questions. I'll exactly show you what are the topics that we're going to be discussing, but it's predominantly a practice session. And I have a few assumptions in my mind. My assumptions are that you are already well versed with the basic fundamentals of verbal logic, the one-liner questions specifically, not the paragraph ones, but the one-liner ones like assumptions or conclusions or syllogism or logical consistency and so on. So there are a few topics of those one-liner verbal logic questions that I'm going to be discussing today. Exactly what are going to be the topics that are going to be covered up in the class today? Here is the list. So we are going to be doing some syllogism questions. We're going to be doing some logical consistency questions. I hope you remember the logical consistency rules, okay? Because they are going to come handy because we are going to be solving these questions very quickly. Okay, so syllogisms, the answers have to come out in a few seconds. Logical consistency, the answers have to come out in a few seconds. You cannot give these questions more than that stipulated time. Okay, so Divya has a question. Azizi, I'll answer your question as well. First, Divya's question. Ma'am, is this useful in CLAT as well? Now, Divya, see, what should be the course of action? What is an assumption? What is the conclusion? Or for example, something as simple as syllogism. All of these topics, they frame your basic fundamental of understanding critical reasoning. And they make you more inclined towards your ability to solve critical reasoning in a better manner. Though there are no direct questions on verbal logic one-liner type questions that we see these days that are asked in CLAT. No, these aren't asked. So the last 2 years, we did not see any of the questions coming up. But remember, one, these kind of questions may come back. And two, that these kind of questions frame your basic understanding of critical reasoning. They make it better. So I would recommend that you watch that, okay? Another question that Zizi had, ma'am, will there be mathematics question in AILET 22 and 23? There could be. There could be mathematics questions that may be asked under the broader reasoning section of the 70 marks. I hope you guys know that now 70 marks is allotted to specifically reasoning. Now this reasoning could have mathematical reasoning. This reasoning could have logical reasoning. This reasoning could have legal reasoning or critical reasoning. It could have anything. Since there's no sample paper out, we're going to buy the fact that maths may be asked under this broader topic. You should be doing maths, okay? Good afternoon, everyone who's watching me. I hope I've answered all your questions. In the app, there are no questions, but I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to everybody. Now, getting back to the agenda of the class, what were we discussing? We were looking at the topics that I'm going to be giving you questions on today. So we'll have questions on syllogism, logical consistency. We'll have questions on reason assertion. I'll quickly, before showing you questions of each of the topics, quickly revise on what am I supposed to do in the type of questions. We'll have cause and effect questions. We'll have course of action questions, strong and weak arguments. And we'll also have some of the FIJ questions, the fact, inference, and judgment questions. Statement, assumptions, and conclusions will be covered up in a separate session, an independent session, because that requires a lot of discussion, and that's one of the most important topics pertaining to critical reasoning as well. So we'll have a separate session on assumptions and conclusions. So all of this and FIJ is what we're going to be discussing in today's session. I am really good, everyone. Thank you so much for asking. Now, before I proceed and actually show you more questions, Did you like my video? Did you share my video? Did you subscribe to the channel? If you haven't done that, please do that right away. Thank you so much if you've already done that. Now, ma'am, AILET के लिए क्या कोई specific course है? Vakar, I would recommend you call the counselor. The counselor will be in a better position to answer your question. Could you please do that? Thank you so much. Okay. Hi Shivam, good afternoon. So are we ready for the questions, everyone? Shall I show you the questions? Pen, paper ready for those people who are going to make Venn diagrams for syllogism? Yes? Here we go. So here we start off with our first question on syllogism. That's the first topic we're going to be doing. Here's your first question. Quickly, let's see who is the one person who answers this question first, and that too correctly. I'll watch. Let's see who gets this one. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, so Hariom is the first person to answer, but I don't know if Hariom you're correct or not. Shivam as well answered very quickly in the app. Okay. So the answers that I'm getting are C, neither, and A, that is only one. Okay. All right, I get it. Now, why are only two people answering in the app? A, C, TK. Now, I will help you make a Venn diagram for this, okay? You can change your answers anytime when you look at my Venn diagram. I'm sure some of you use the tick and cross method, which is a quicker one, but trust me, using the syllogism method makes you more logically sound, and I'll recommend that kind of a method to be used. Let's try to make a Venn diagram here, okay? So the first one says some peas are tomatoes, okay? So I'll make it like this. Some peas are tomatoes. I can make another diagram where peas is equal to tomatoes can also be true. Let's try to combine the goads into the same statement, the same diagrams that we have. So all tomatoes are goads. I can make it like this. All tomatoes are goads and all tomatoes are goads. Now, please recheck your answers. All of those people who've marked C, will A follow or not? Yes or no? Will A follow or not? Quick. The first person in the app to answer correctly was Shivam, and the first person to answer correctly is on YouTube is Hariom. The correct answer, my child, is going to be an absolute A. I'll show you the diagrams again. See, these were the two diagrams that we had made. The first one says some peas are tomatoes. This part of peas is also tomatoes. So A is correct here. This part of peas is also tomatoes. This also is absolutely correct. That means this is going to be my correct conclusion. No tomato is a pea. That cannot be possible because some peas are tomatoes. So no tomato is pea is going to be absolutely false. The answer is only and only A. Let's move on to the next question very quickly, everybody. Here we go. Question number 2. Let's see who gets it correct at the first go. What's the answer? So I have an answer in the app from Vikash who says C. Okay. Others on YouTube? What's the correct answer? Okay. Alifia says B. Tanishka B, D, B, D, D. I think you know what's happening. I think you guys are just getting under a lot of pressure. And I need to build that too because the pressure in the actual examination is going to be way higher than what it is right now. Let's try to make a Venn diagram for this, everybody. Okay. So let me see who got this correct in the app. Okay. All right. So here we go. My statements are all plates are spoons. Let's look at the diagram. All plates are spoons. All plates are spoons. And then we have all spoons are bowls. So all spoons are bowls. All spoons are bowls. And then the third one, no bowl is a spatula. So spatula has to be a separate one. No bowl is a spatula. Spatula has to be a separate one. The first conclusion says all bowls are spoons. All bowls are spoon is false here. This part of bowls is not spoon. That means even in one diagram, if the conclusion is wrong, the conclusion will be absolutely false. The second one says all plates are bowls. Are all plates bowls here? Yes. Are all plates bowls here? Yes. That means our correct answer here had to be a B. And Alifia in our YouTube chat and Shivam in our app chat get it correct at the first go, and they are the first people to get it correct. Super job done. Very good. So our answer here is a B. I hope you guys are convinced with the diagram. The diagram is visible here as well on the screen. Okay. So that's the correct answer. Congratulations. Let's have a look at the next question very quickly. But before that, we have a mega workshop going on for going to happen on 12th of June, 11:30 a.m. where KD sir is going to be talking about tips and tricks to ace critical reasoning and English language. Make sure you attend the session live. Register yourself right away. Don't miss out on this workshop. Question number next is third, I think, and that's going to be logical consistency. I hope you remember. Did you, Tanishka? I might have missed out on your chat, bache. No, Tanishka, Alifia answered before you. I can see that, but then maybe it reached late to me. And you get the score as well. Okay. Now we're going to be doing logical consistency. I hope you remember the rules. Cause, effect, if case, when case, whenever case, whatever it is. Make sure you know the rules. That's your first question. Let's see who gets it correct at the first go. So this is our statement. Okay, Shivam, you were quick. Others on YouTube? Okay, Priya, Rishav, Satyapratap. Okay. All right. Let me explain the question to you, okay? We can change our answers later on. Some people are marking A, some are marking D. In the app, everyone says D. Hi, Varsha. Good evening. But just solve this question, please. Let's see what the correct answer is. Let's understand the theory here. This is the if case question. If case question says that if the cause happens, the effect will always happen. That's the first rule for if case. And the second rule of if case is if the effect does not happen, the cause will also not happen. The negation of effect will also lead to the negation of cause. That's in simple language, the two rules we follow in if case. Now, which one of these two is cause? A lot of people actually get confused while solving these questions. They are unable to identify which is the cause and which is the effect. So I'll give you a simple funda here. In if case, exactly what follows after if will be your cause and the remaining part becomes your effect. What are the two rules we learned here? If cause happens, effect will also happen. And if the effect is negated, the cause will also be negated. That is the two conclusions that follow will be these two. Now, India does not lose. What does that mean? India does not lose is negation of effect. Negation of effect. Automatically, what will it lead to? It will lead to the negation of cause. The negation of cause is Virat scores a century. We have to negate it. So negation of Virat does not score a century will be Virat scores a century. The correct answer here clearly is going to be a D without an ounce of doubt. So the first person who got it correct is Priya in the YouTube channel, and again Shivam on our app. And Shivam, actually you were pretty quick here. So I hope Aman, that's necessary actually, because a little bit of anxiety is needed. A little bit of anxiety will make you work harder. Make sure you're not very anxious that you ruin the paper. Just remember, little bit of anxiety is normal. It happens to me, it happens to you, it happens to everybody. Just keep working in the right direction. Let's have a look at the next question, everybody. Question number 4. Again, logical consistency. Supremely easy question. Who will get it correct at the first go? Let's see. Violet, I'll go back to the question. First do this. I'll take you back. Satya Pratap, I'll explain that. Do this question first. Kinza says D. Okay. D. You know, you could actually solve this question without even using any rule for logical consistency. It's a basic logical reasoning question which is supremely easy. Supremely easy. So the first person who got it correct, I missed out people on the app. I think Julekha got it correct in the first go. But here, I don't know if you've got it correct, but you answered here. And the correct answer here, like 100% of the people are saying, is going to be a clear D. Now, understand this how. So, it's like, if A happens, then B happens. If B happens, then C happens. If C happens, then D happens. It's a sequence. Automatically, if A happens, D is going to happen, right? So, if it rains A, that's B. That's B, that's C. That's C, that's D. That automatically means if A happens, D will happen. And if it rains, the boss is going to be angry, is going to be the ultimate equation that we could make here. The correct answer is a clear D. Now, some people, I hope this is clear to everyone. There was a unanimous answer. In the app, everybody said D. On YouTube channel, everybody said D. But a couple of people asked me a question in the previous one. So, I'll go back to the previous question. I'll take you back here. Here, some people ask me why it cannot be A. Okay, let me quickly remind you, in if case, what are the two things that follow? Cause happening will lead to effect happening. Okay, and effect negation will lead to cause negation. These are the two rules that follow in case of if. Okay, now if is this statement, that's my cause and that's my effect. So India does not lose. What does that mean? India does not lose means effect is being negated. Yeah, I have to conclude if this is true, what can also be true? India does not lose means effect is negated. Effect is negated. When effect is negated, what does it lead to? It always leads to cause being negated. The cause actually, India does not lose, cannot lead to India won. Please don't use your GK here. The logic says always on both the sides, one has to be the cause, one has to be the effect. If this is my effect, the conclusion has to be a cause only. And that's exactly why A cannot be the answer according to logical consistency. So, if one side has an effect, the other side needs to have a cause. It cannot have effect on both the sides. If this does not happen, this will happen. It cannot have effect on both the sides. That's exactly why A does not follow. Okay? So, I hope Satya, you and Violet, you get the reasoning here. Yeah, do you? Now, let's move on. Let's see this. This question is done. Let's move to the next question, everyone. But before that, if you're targeting CLAT 2023, a comprehensive combo course has been launched, and that's the best thing to enroll for if you're looking to get into your dream NLU. Make sure you enroll yourself at the earliest. Do not waste your time. CLAT 23 isn't far off. It's right there in December waiting for you. Jaldi se enroll kar lo. Okay, now here, reason assertion. I'll give you a quick revision of how you were supposed to answer assertion reason. Remember, assertion reason is lesser of a logical reasoning question. It's more of a GK question. You remember the times when assertion reason could actually be asked under legal reasoning section as well. So it's basically a combination of, and then there were times when individual NLUs used to take papers, assertion reason would be asked under GK section as well. So it checks more of your GK and lesser of your reasoning. But little bit of reasoning is applicable here as well. So I'm going to show you the first question of assertion reason here. Let's have a look at it very quickly. Question number 5. What is the correct answer here? Who is the first person to get it correct? Let me see. I'm waiting. What is it? A, C, okay, C, all right, E, aha. People who are saying E, do you remember the 22 Olympic Games? You don't remember where it was held? Because people who are saying E think assertion is also false and reason is also false. If Beijing was not the place where the Olympic Games 22 was hosted, where else was it hosted? Where else was it hosted? B, okay. This has to, guys, see, assertion reason is a GK test. Your GK needs to be correct here. If you know the answer, I'll give you a tip here. Before you send me any more answers, Anuj, I've seen your answer, my child. Before you send me any more answers, just remember, if you know the answer, go for it. If you do not know the answer, do not go for it. Please do not mark it unnecessarily. It completely checks your GK. Okay? So ultimately, our correct answer here is going to be, oh, just a minute. Yes, it's going to be a C. Now, let me see how many of you marked a C here. Tanya did. Yeah, you did, certainly. Other people? None. Okay. All right. Now, let's move on with the next question, everybody. Question number 6. What's the correct? Oh, let me show you options. I'll show you the options again. First, look at the question, everyone. Yes, Vivek, the answer is C. Now, everyone, look at it. What's the correct answer? Beijing Olympics 22 were held in February, my child. Ansh, you forgot that? You remember we were unhappy about our performance. Okay? Now, the options. Here we go. Let's have a look at the options. Yes. Okay, so who gets it now? Anybody? Options here, here, here. B, B. Everyone says B. Exactly, Rishabh. Yes, that's what I was referring to. The torchbearer. Everyone says B. Okay, let me show you the options here. So the question was, Will Smith won the Oscar Award for the Best Actor leading in 22. Again, a GK question. The award for film editing was backed by Pamela Martin. This also is a completely GK question. But are they even related? That's where the reasoning approach is applicable. That is, I might know which is the correct statement according to GK. But are they even related? Does one explain the other? That does not. Since it does not explain each other, both are going to be true, but one does not explain the other because these are not interconnected. So one person winning an award in Oscar and then the other person winning it for editing, they aren't even related to each other. Thus, the correct answer, which everyone got correct, was a B. Yes, it is a B. Correct. Not at all related. Let's have a look at the next question. So now we're going to be doing cause and effect. I'll be giving you a few tips and tricks. Just remember a few things as a quick revision. I'll be given two statements, cause and effect. And there are going to be directions. We need to remember that if there could be many causes for an effect, but this could be one of them, I'll have to link them. This could not be a sure shot cause. There could be many other causes. But if the given statement is one of the causes, you'll stick to it. Okay. So for example, it was raining outside and I got late for my class. I might be late because of many other reasons as well. But if raining is one of the reasons, I link them. Okay. And I'll say, okay, raining is the cause for I being late into the class as an effect. Remember that. Okay. So I'm going to be looking at the questions now. Here we go. Question number 7. Give this a try, everybody. What's the correct answer? D, Rishabh, okay. C, A. Okay, let's try to understand this question. So, statement 1 says that the Reserve Bank of India has increased the repo rate. You know what the repo rate is? The repo rate is exactly the rate at which the central bank provides money, in short, to other banks to lend it out. Okay, and of course, when the central bank provides money to the other smaller banks to lend it out, the central bank will charge some money. If they increase the repo rate, that means they're charging more interest on that. They're charging more money on lending out the money to smaller banks. And if the RBI increases the repo rate, it will have a direct implication on the banks and their functioning. Agreed? These banks and their functioning will be impacted. Now, if these banks will lend out personal, vehicle, home loans, they charge some interest. If these banks have to repay the money to the RBI, and if the RBI has increased the repo rate, where will these banks pay the increased amount from? They will directly pay this increased amount by increasing their own interest rate. That's how the cycle goes. So repo rate, my children, has always a direct impact on the interest rates charged by the banks on various loans, because that's how they will repay the money taken from the RBI. So statement number 1 has a clear connection to statement number 2. Where are you guys? Yeah, exactly. Loans to commercial banks. Simple. Now, since it has a direct relationship with each other, what do you think should the correct answer be? You can change your answers now because I got a lot of random answers. Now, remember, what did I teach you? The banks can increase their interest rate because of various other reasons. But repo rate, if is one of the reasons, I link them. There could be many other causes, but if increment of a repo rate is one of the causes, I'll stick to it and mark it as one of my causes. So what should the correct answer be here? Yes, exactly. Correct, my children. So the correct answer here is going to be a clear A. That 1 is the cause and it will lead to 2 being the effect. Okay? Got this, everyone? Yes, that's going to be an A. Agreed. Hi, Neeti. Okay, so let's have a look at the next question, everyone. Apply the logic that I had taught you. Solve this question. Yes, Alifia, I saw that, my child. I'm very proud of you. Solve this question. What's the answer? And I'll make this question a little more tricky. A, Muskan, the previous question, the correct answer was A. C and D. So, I knew the confusion will arise here. Let me make you more confused here. You might not be very happy, but that's my job, okay? Let me make you a little more confused here. Now, many people who had attended a local feast, they ate there, they had food poisoning and they were admitted somewhere. So, it's because of something they have consumed, which was not in good quality, and thus they fell sick. Agreed? The second says many dead fish were found on the lakeshore in the area. Some people may think that the water in that area is contaminated. If the water in the area is contaminated, these people suffered food poisoning and these many fish also died because of the contaminated water. So can I say both the statements are related? Can I say this? Kartikeya, look at it that way. Can I say this? And a lot of people who are marking C, I'll give you some mind-boggling advice today. Okay? So, can I say they are interlinked? But then even if you think they are interlinked, one cannot be the cause or the effect of the other. That is, the fish that is dead will not lead to people suffering from food poisoning. Vice versa, people suffering from food poisoning will not lead to the fish being dead. Agreed? Yes. That means if you are confused with such a question, you might randomly link them for the sake of linking. But how your approach needs to be here is, will this lead to this or will this lead to this? No, they wouldn't. So I'm left with only 2 options. How do I decide? Everyone, I want your 100% attention here. I'm going to teach you something and that's going to be very, very helpful for you. Okay? If you have to decide, I know there are 2 statements that are not related. But how do I decide between C and D as the answer? 2 independent statements are there. Are they independent causes or are they independent effects? Remember, if I have one independent sentence, for example, I got late for the class. What is it? Is that a cause or is that an effect? Try to understand this. Is that a cause or is that an effect? ये बताइए. Mayur, answer this. I got late for the class. Is that a cause or is that an effect? It's an independent sentence. We don't know any other sentence related to it. What will it be? Absolutely, it's going to be an effect. Now, if I give you another independent sentence, it is raining outside. Independent. Forget any other statement along with it. Independent sentence. It is raining outside. How will you tackle it? Will it be a cause or will it be an effect? Now think carefully and answer. Will that be a cause or will that be an effect? Only an independent sentence. It's raining outside. Now you're saying it's a cause? Why? My logic is no, my children, no. No, 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 no. Don't make this mistake. Do not. Exactly, Alifia. It could be both. Let me explain this, everyone. If I have an independent sentence, it cannot be a cause unless and until it is accompanied with an effect. If it is raining outside, unless and until it is accompanied with an adjoining effect, I cannot call that independent sentence as a cause. It will always, my children, be considered as an effect. Always an effect. Independent sentences cannot be called causes unless and until they are adjoined with some effects. I don't know. Why is that a cause for you? Unless and until you know it has an effect. If I don't know an effect, in itself is effect. It's raining because there are clouds. I got late because it was raining. I am teaching because there is AILET. You are studying because you have to sit for AILET. Every independent sentence will be considered an effect only. Okay? So, our answer clearly here is a D. Did you get the fundamental, everybody? Did you get it clear? How do you eliminate between C and D? Did you understand this? If you've understood this, quickly like my session. Hit a like very quickly. Thank you. All right. Okay. So, Varsha, you just need to remember that if there's an independent sentence, it will always be considered an effect. It cannot be considered a cause. It will be a cause only when you know there is a clear effect which is stated in the sentence. Okay? So, that's it. Let's have a look at the next question, everyone. Question number. Now we're going to be doing course of action. My favorite of all. Supremely easy as well. I'll teach you something here as well. Solve this question first and then we'll talk about it. Thank you, Akansha. I'll give you options in the next page, okay? The options are here. Just a minute. Here. Now, everyone's saying A. Is that so easy? Neither? Okay. Only A? Okay. Let's discuss the question, everybody. What does the question say? In course of action, you remember a few things, okay? You remember that you are in a position of authority. That's the first thing you remember. Okay. Since you are in a position of authority and there's a problematic situation coming to you, you always choose a course of action that does something. That is those options that say just leave it as it is, don't do anything, things will get better. They aren't doing anything at all. And since they aren't doing anything at all, these options will be the worst ones. Eliminate them. You are in an authority, you're supposed to choose something that does something, an option that does something at least. Two, you are always going to be consider yourself in a positive authority. So ban it, shut it, burn it down, block it, close it. All of these are going to be the last resort. You always have to choose for the positive options. Just remember these two things while you're solving the course of action questions. Okay. Now let's understand the question here. The proposal for the Maharashtra government to clear the slum areas in Mumbai for beautification and economic development. Now they want to clear the slum areas. So they are going to be removing the people who live in the slum from that area because they want to make the area beautiful and they want to develop it economically. So maybe they'll make a high rise or a mall that's going to be economically beneficial for the government. Now, A says the government should provide adequate compensation to the ones who shall be displaced. The people who live in the slum area, they already are poor because they are living in a slum area. If you are displacing them for the betterment of the area, you either give them the money or you give them some place to live in. That will logically follow because this will resolve the problem of these people who are being displaced. Because if you don't address to them, your situation will become even worse. For the sake of beautification, you're going to make these people suffer if you don't compensate them. So A will absolutely follow. Yes, correct. But so people who said none, remember A is correct here. Let's have a look at B. The government should not undertake any beautification. Why? Why? Is that not merely an opinion without any reasoning? You should not do it. But why, ma'am? Why shouldn't I do it? You should not mark B. If I answer like this, you will ask me, ma'am, why not B? I need to have a reason. You are in the position of an authority. Please give us a valid reason. B is going to be absolutely an incorrect answer. Thus, our correct answer here is going to be only and only A. Okay? So, people who marked B, I hope you are convinced why is B wrong. B does not do anything. It only and only gives you a suggestion. Let's have a look at the next question, everyone. Course of action. Give this a try. I'll teach you more theory about that. What's your answer here? Little Bud's school is unable to organize the annual fest. It's a little tricky. Some of you might get it wrong. Think carefully, everyone. B, okay. But my question is, why do I even do B? I know that the parents are reluctant to pay the annual maintenance fee. If they are reluctant, why do I even send a reminder when I know they're not going to pay? Is my question. Yes, Alifia, you got my point. All of those people who are marking B, why do I even send a reminder if I know they're reluctant to pay? What benefit will it do to me? Now neither? Now your answer is neither? Are you sure? Do you want to change your answer? Julekha, Varsha, Varshita, Naina, Neeti. Everybody, Keshav, do you want to change your answer? I reiterate my point. My point is, if I know the parents are reluctant to pay the annual maintenance fee, why do I even set a reminder, email, or letter to pay the maintenance charges? What benefit will it do to me? Why do I even do that? Either give me an explanation or stick to the answer, neither. Simple, Alifia. But Alifia, am I forcing them? You guys fell into my trap. Okay, so Mayur says notice भेजने पर कुछ भेज भी सकते हैं fees. Exactly my point. That's persuasion. And maybe, so understand this, everyone. The people who were misled by my argument, you got confused here. If I know they're reluctant to pay, yet I want to organize an annual fest, if I send an email or a letter reminding them, it's simple persuasion. Maybe they come on the same page as I am and they be ready. They are reluctant means they're not ready to pay. That does not mean they're completely adamant on not paying and they're revolting against paying it. No, that isn't the sense here. They maybe have a doubt in their mind, and when I send a reminder mail, maybe they think, okay, I might pay it. It's only about an annual fest. Some people might succumb to it. It may be peer pressure, it may be pressure from the school, or it may be a persuasion, simple. So a lot of people who gave me this reasoning, Mayur, you're absolutely right. Yes, Ansh, that's the point. You have to do something. And that's what it is. You are doing something. You just can't give up on it. If I don't do this, then what am I going to do? Am I going to give up? No, that cannot be a correct answer in course of action. Exactly, Karthik. That's Karthike, that's the point. A reminder is always good. Doing nothing is always the worst of the answers. Okay? I hope you get it now. So now let's look at the options, everybody. The options were these, and we've already discussed the answer. The answer will be only and only two follows. That is, you can still send a reminder, which is completely in your own right. You can do that, and that might make some people pay. But they should stop conducting such classes. Is that not extremely negative? What did I teach you in the beginning? These extremely negative ones are the worst ones. Had these extremely negative ones been the correct ones, why would they come to you as an authority for a correct answer? You have to do something. Just shutting it down, anybody can do that. You are in an authority, please take a wise decision. This decision is not wise, and that's exactly why A will not follow. Okay. All right, so let's move on. Let's have a look at the next question, everybody. Did you like the session? If you haven't done that, please do that, okay? Please do that. I'll be more sweet in asking you. Let's have a look at the next question, everyone. And please like my session and share and comment. Strong and weak arguments. How many of you are scared of it? How many of you are scared of strong and weak arguments? That actually is a kind of question that's a little unclear to some people. Okay? So I'll try to give you some clarity over these kind of questions. Let's have a look at the first question. Here we go. Good luck, everyone. What's your answer? Very good, Priya. Oh, just a minute. Sorry, here are your options. What are your answers? Tanishka says only B. Okay. Should parents stop their children from playing during their exams? Yes, exam preparation requires a lot of focus. Okay. And it will divert. Okay. A. All right. Neither. C. A. All of the options. All of the options. Okay. All right, guys. See, I have two questions on strong and weak arguments, and I'll go slow with them because you might want to have a fight with me. That's okay because that's how you learn how to approach strong and weak argument questions. Before disclosing the answer, I have A, B, C, D, all of them in the chat right now. Before disclosing the options, let me give you a quick theory of how are we supposed to approach this kind of question. I haven't seen you quite often with the critical reasoning classes. Now you're going to see me more often. So you probably will have a better insight here with something new to understand. So just remember a few things. The statement will be a statement that's given. Imagine a situation where there are two lawyers standing in front of a judge, and this is the case that's going on. You, my child, are a judge. Just imagine yourself like this. You are a judge. This is the case going on. This is lawyer A and this is lawyer B giving you arguments. You as a judge will have to analyze each argument independently and then see if the arguments are logically and strongly put, or are the arguments put in a manner that the judge will say, out of my courtroom. What kind of argument are you giving me? You're a poor lawyer. Your argument is weak. So just think of yourself as a judge and then analyze the situation. Will you pay heed to lawyer A's argument as well as B's? Or will you not pay heed to either of them, or will you pay heed to only one of them? So that's the first thing you need to remember. You are the judge. Second thing you need to remember is never compare both the arguments. Because if you compare, one is yes, one is no, they're going to be contradictory to each other. Never do that. First, look at A independently. Like a judge, I'm listening to lawyer A. I will see if he has put his argument strongly or not. Then I will come to B. I will listen to B lawyer's argument and I will see if he has put his argument strongly, or I want to send him out of the court because he has a poor argument. Okay, that's what we need to look at while we are addressing the strong and weak argument questions. Now let's try to understand the question. The question says, should parents stop the children from playing during the exams? Okay, you are the judge. The first argument comes that says, yes, exam preparation requires lots of focus and playing will divert the attention of the children. I think there's a third pointer that I would like to tell you here. Remember, whatever is written in the argument, please consider it true. Do not use your supremely external GK. Okay? And don't try to counter it. If this is true, is it a strongly put one? Yes or no? Answer this, everyone. Is this a strongly put one? That exam preparation requires lots of focus and playing will divert their mind. If playing will divert their mind, should they stop their children from playing only during the shorter tenure of the examination? Yes, it's a very, very, very strong argument. Yes, yes, yes. Now let's analyze B. No, children learn many attributes like working in a team while playing with others. Okay, you can play while there are no exams. Are we addressing this during the exams? Is it necessary to address this during the exams? My question isn't about stopping the children from playing forever. It's not about focusing on the importance of playing every day. It's about playing only and only during the exams. I would have thought point number 2 had the point 2 said they should be allowed to play even during the exams because they need some respite from the hard work they're doing. They need fresh air to make them memorize things better during the examinations. During the examination was the focus, which B loses out on. Exactly. So will B be my strong argument or weak? What do you think? I'll have a sip of water before I show you the answers. Will B be strong or weak? Haha, that's true, but I need to stick to you being a judge. What's your answer? You want to change it? Yeah, that is certainly going to be an A. Only and only A is strong. B is absolutely weak. I hope you got some theory here. Will you like to apply to the next question, everybody? Let's have a look at it. All right, let's see who gets it. Remember the theory I had given you. Options. Here are the options. What's the correct answer? B, C, A. Okay. All right. C. In the app, what's your answer? B. C is either and neither. Okay. Guys, okay, let me alter this question a little. I would rather make it both. Would you like to change your answers now? That might give you some more confidence. Let me make it easier. Okay. Now, would you like to change your answer, everybody? Let me explain the question to you, everyone. Should technocrats run the government? The idea is that technocrats are people who've had experience. For example, you might have seen that happening in Sudan, right? So a person who has had some technical experience, who's technically sound, has worked in an organization that runs on technology. And should such a person be asked or elected as somebody, as a representative of the people to run the government? That's what the question is, okay? And this is a debate that's going on in a court. And the question is, should I elect somebody else or should a technocrat be given priority and should that person be asked to run the government? Now, these are the two arguments given by lawyers in the court. You are the judge, you are going to listen to them. A says yes, since they have the requisite skill. If this is true, if they have the skill to handle the specific task, if this is true, if they have the skill, if I find somebody who has the skill, should I not choose him? I should, right? A automatically becomes a very, very strong argument. Agreed, everyone? Do you buy my point? Yeah? Exactly. Do not apply your external knowledge is the whole point. If the written thing is true, Akansha, Mayur, Rishabh, Taha, Hariom, if the written thing is true. Even if he has requisite skill to handle specific task, should I not let him run the government? What is the problem in that is my question. He does, Kartikeya, you're absolutely right. Regardless, no, not necessarily any field, but technically sound is the answer, Kartikeya. Now, everyone, I'll explain this again. If he has the requisite skill to perform specific tasks, he might not be a master of all, but he's technically sound. For example, managing Aadhaar. And he's really good at that. He can be a people's representative then. He can be. Will the judge? My question, I repeat my question. Look at it, Tanishka, this way. Will the judge listen to this argument or will he discard it? Everyone, let's take it this way. Will the judge listen to this argument or will he discard it? Kya bekar argument? It's a useless argument. How will he address it? Is it a useless argument or will the judge listen to it? What's your answer? Let's look at only A. Even if it is specific skills and not all skills. Remember the judge technique. Tanishka, it is not, but if he is good at certain specific skills to handle task of a government, if that is true, Alifia, the judge will listen to you. Remember, what is written is to be considered true, Alifia. I had told you that. He is good in handling tasks related to running the government. The judge will listen to it. He will not discard your argument. There may be some other counter argument I might give, but that's a different story altogether. Never counter your argument. What were the 3 points I had told you? The pointers were, this is true. You are a judge and you will not counter this, because if you start countering this, you will question everything. Exactly. So, thus, if the judge will listen to it, it's a strong argument. The second one says, no, just because someone is trained in a specific field does not mean that the person can. Okay, let's understand this. If this is true, will the judge pay heed to the argument or will the judge discard it? What's your answer here? If B is true, will the judge pay heed to it or will the judge discard it? What do you think? Anyone? The judge is going to be listening to this as well. Absolutely. Pay heed to it. He'll think, okay, it's not necessary that you trained in certain belief, a certain field means that you can represent the people in a good manner. He'll think about it. He'll pay heed to it as well. Thus, the correct answer is both of them are strong. There's a misprint in the answer key. The answer key, I think, says D, but then the correct answer here is both are strong. Okay, so I don't know if the answer key, the answer key said D, but then that was a misprint. Okay, so it's a typo here. Don't buy that. Okay, it's going to be both are strong. Let's have a look at the next question, everybody. Fact, inference, and judgment. I'll give you a quick brief about how to solve fact, inference, and judgment questions. Are we ready, everyone? Okay, it's a simple type of question. It usually doesn't appear a lot, but it might come back. And if it does, they are supremely easy and you can easily solve it. Okay. Now, what are facts? What are inference? What are judgments? just omit the theory that's written here once. Listen to what I'm saying. First thing first, a fact is something that you can go and verify. For example, this is made of steel. Can you check it? Yes, it's a fact. For example, this is black in color. Can you check it? Yes. For example, this is blue in color. Even if your mind says, no, no, ma'am, that's black, it will still be a fact because you can go and check it. So facts definition is anything that's verifiable. Okay, remember that. Something that can be checked. Okay, now next thing is inference. Inference is exactly what you had learned while you were doing critical reasoning or while you were doing inference based questions in reading comprehension. Give me a second, let me have a sip of water and then I'll tell you exactly what inference is. Inference is basically one statement leading to the other. So, for example, I have, it was raining, so I bought an umbrella. One statement leading to the other, that's an inference. So, processing of one will lead to the other. Fact was something that was verifiable. Inference was something that whereas one statement leads to the other, whereas the conclusions are drawn about unknown on the basis of known. That's inference. What is a judgment? A judgment is merely something that's variable. That is, it changes from person to person. For example, opinions. Words like adjectives and adverbs, these are variables. For example, good, bad. The weather is good, the weather is bad. These are variable. You might find it good, others might find it bad, even if it is extremely hot, 40-degree temperature. So anything that changes from people to people, that's variable, be it opinions or some approval or disapproval or situations, but it changes from people to people. That is a judgment, my children. Okay? Exactly. That will be a judgment, my child. No, you cannot verify if he is talented. You can, you know what? I am so sorry, I did not get your name, but I hope you will forgive me for that. Just understand. Ronaldo is talented, cannot be verified. Ronaldo scored 30 runs or 30 goals, for example. That can be verified. So, Ronaldo scoring XYZ goals or Ronaldo winning a match or losing a match is verifiable. But you might find him talented, but then there are people who say Nadal is not the best player. Even if 100% of us would agree to it. Nadal is the best player will always be a judgment. Even if he keeps winning Grand Slams over and over and over again. Okay? So remember, it will be a judgment. He being a talented player. So, any more question? Any more questions, anyone? Okay. Yes, Rishabh, and that's exactly why it's a judgment. I hope you get the theory and differentiation between what is a judgment and what is a fact. I'll also give you one tricky question, an additional bonus question from my side. But before that, solve this question. In your minds, categorize the questions as F, I, or J. The options are in the next page. I'll show you that later on. Okay, options? Here we go. What is your answer? What is your answer? Okay, Vandana, is that your answer? Okay. Okay, Scrubby girl. All right. Can I take the credit of making you understand this question and getting a unanimous answer for it? Can I? India's first female judge. Fatima Bibi may not be the first female judge, but I can go and check it. Was she appointed in 1989? She may not be, but I can go and check it. It's a verifiable statement. It is clearly a fact. Okay. The next one, the government has issued a new policy on accreditation of journalists. If the government has issued a new policy or not, I can go and check it. It's a fact. The new policy prepared by the Ministry of Information Broadcasting and issued by the press lays down guidelines. Does it give us guidelines on how to do this? I can go and check it. That is also a verifiable statement. That also is a fact. Journalists should report. You should do this, you should do that. You'll say, I will not do it. Why should I do that? You should do this or you should not do this is merely an opinion, right? So if this is an opinion, this is a judgment. So I know F, F, F and J. My correct answer, is that a C? Let's check it. That certainly is a C. Okay. Mayur, I'll tell you what. Thank you, Shazia. Okay, these are easier than passage. But Scrubbigal and Mayur, if these were so easy, everybody would have landed up in NLU Delhi, right? Even if they're easy, they take up, there are many questions and the paper pattern is lengthy. That's the catch about AILET. And the same would have happened in CLAT as well. I'll show you, Scrubbigal. Let's solve one more question and you'll exactly know how. Okay, why not B? Deepthi, let me explain this to you. Hi, Gagandeep, solve this question, my child. Okay, so Deepthi, according to you, the third statement is an inference. Is one part of the statement leading out to the other part here in C? This statement says that the Ministry of INB has issued a new policy, and the new policy lays down guidelines on how to do something. This new policy tells us how this XYZ thing can be done. What is one part leading out to the other? Are you processing one part which leads you to another conclusion? What is the conclusion here? There's no conclusion. Right? There is no conclusion. It cannot be an inference. Okay? Shazia, it at least aids on to your understanding of logical reasoning, critical reasoning. Also, these kind of questions, if they appear, even if there are a couple of them, you'll be able to answer them clearly in CLAT. So it cannot be a B. The correct answer is a C. Solve one more question on FIJ, everybody. Here you go. No, this is our last question. Madrista. Or maybe the second last. What's your answer? C. Okay. All right. C. Okay. See, you know what? I'm not going to take the credit. I will not take the credit. You keep it with you. Did you guys miss out on a simple word? Do you want to change your answers? Do you want to change your answers? Now your answer changes. Why did you do this? Why did you miss out on it? See, now, scrubby girl, now do you understand what an inference is? Exactly. One part is leading to a conclusion. That is the second part of the sentence. Hum is the smallest city in the world. Why? Because it has a population of 30 people. Population of 30 people leading us to the conclusion that it is the smallest city in the world. That is an inference, a clear inference. I'm left with only and only one option. This is how you rush up with such questions. Okay? Find something that you're absolutely sure of, eliminate options and come to your answer. Mayur, I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that credit. Okay? So, the second statement, Florida International University is the fourth largest. I can check it if it is the fourth largest or not. It is difficult to read 10 books in a day. Difficult, easy. I say this question was very easy. You'll say, no, ma'am, it was difficult. It's subjective. It's a judgment. Okay? It is not a fact. His smile was welcoming. You found it welcoming. I did not find it welcoming. It's a judgment. That is going to be a judgment as well. Thus, our answer is a clear D here. I hope you get it. Okay. It can be verified, no, whether it has that much population or not. Yes, it can be, but Vandana, you're absolutely right. But even if, okay, remember something, guys. This can be verified that it is smallest. It can be verified that it has 30 people. Agreed. This is also a fact, but this is also a fact. But is one part of the part leading to another conclusion? If that happens, this may be a judgment, this may be a fact. I will not mark that as a judgment or a fact. I will always mark this as an inference. Remember that. Okay? I hope you get this. All right. That is all for today, everyone. I hope you learned some different questions. You learned the techniques that I tried to portray to you. I hope you are able to solve questions in a better manner. Few things that I expect you to do. Please solve questions more and more and revise the things. Save this class for future. If you're stuck with any of the topics that I've already taught you, go back, watch my video again, and then attempt the question again. Specifically the strong and weak ones where you get it wrong. So bookmark the video, save it, or maybe share it with everybody. Thank you so much if you've already done that. This is the schedule for the next week. I'll see you again on Friday with a reading comprehension class, improving the reading skills. That's what we're going to be talking about from the perspective of AILET. And Salik sir, KD sir, Nivedita ma'am also has classes this week. Please join us live on our CLAT and AILET live analysis, and please follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, and download our app. Thank you, my children. Bhumika, a normal one is, a smartwatch isn't. Alifia, that's a very good score. Thank you so much, everybody. Radhe Radhe. See you soon. Bye, everyone.